How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm so good. Well, congratulations on The Last Stop in Yuma County finally coming out to the world. I saw it at Fantastic Fest, was a massive fan, have been singing the praises of it since. So I'm glad it's finally getting out into the world.
Oh, thank you. Me too. We're so excited and so excited for everybody to see what Francis can do.
So how did I've talked to Jim, I've talked to Richard, but so how did you come onto the project? Because they came on
Hmm,
before you. Oh my God, that mug's incredible.
I
A
know.
good diner mug. What a good diner mug.
Yes. Yeah, James, our executive producer, he has a t-shirt company, but he also makes mugs and stickers and
Oh, wait,
pins
that
and
lively boogeyman?
the local boogeyman. Yep.
Boogeyman, I've bought some of their stuff before, so yeah.
Yes. Good stuff. Good swag for the movie for sure. Um, Yeah, it was similar for me. I think it was around the same time maybe as he started talking to Jim. I think Richard was the first person that he had on board. Um, and yeah, just got sent the script and was super impressed by how smart and sharp the writing was and all these really colorful characters who keep you guessing and do unexpected things. Just highly impressed by the script. And then Francis reached out personally, and just meeting him, having a lot of confidence in what he could do because he's just very exuberant and passionate and knowledgeable about the genre, all different genres. And also that he had a really strong team with him, including Mac Fiskin, who Richard and I both worked with on Off Season, Mickey Keating's film.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was a big draw as
yeah.
well because I just love Mac's work. And they had, I think Mac had shot all of Francis's short films, which are also excellent. So it's nice to come into like a highly oiled machine like that.
That's so awesome. Well, also like it's like a very masculine movie, and you're kind of like that not only, but one of the only like feminine presences in the film. Like was that like what was that experience like for you to kind of be bringing that to the set, even if it wasn't on purpose? Like what was that experience like?
Yeah, it's interesting because she presents as a vulnerable character, but ultimately I feel like she's kind of the best match for Bo. This is
I would
this
agree with that.
yeah. uh I mean, I bet I thought a lot about how the diner is really her home. This is her family
Yeah.
diner. So it's almost like a hostage situation in her home, that she needs to problem solve, figure out how to get in touch with her husband, the sheriff, who's played amazingly by Michael Abbott Jr. But then once she realizes that she's on her own and she can't get in touch with him, she goes down fighting, which I love, and which is something that Francis, let me add some of those things into the script.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say like that you have such a cool character arc in this, especially with like showing that you aren't just a woman in a diner outfit like serving coffee. And I love that because you always see that in movies like this, and getting to see your character be such a badass and subverting those expectations is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All of these characters kind of like are
Yeah.
at all different moments are doing things that you're not expecting. And that's what's so cool about the movie and so entertaining and really like keeps you locked in because you don't know what's going to happen. And working with Jim too was really cool. Like, because at the top we have this rapport where we realize what's going on. And then for the rest of the movie, it's kind of like these unspoken glances across the diner. But whereas,
Yeah.
characters are kind of paired off and Jim and I are kind of in it together, until the guns come a blazing. But
Yeah, I was gonna ask about working with Jim because you guys are kind of paired off. It's like, and what that was like, because I feel like was it like between I mean between action and everything and cuts, like you were just sitting at a table like with coffee. So what was that like developing that relationship with him, both as characters but as actors too?
yeah, I mean, I loved working with him and I was a fan of his work before coming onto this. And he just has great ideas. And, we had some time to rehearse with Francis before we got on set. Um, but like you say, like everything is kind of so contained and like, Jim is at the table the entire time and we have a couple scenes at the table. So it's kind of like finding what's dynamic in the dialogue and in what's happening in this
Yeah.
because it's not so physical. But that was also fun to like work out with the entire crew because there are a lot of oneers that are just dynamic shots where like all of the coverage is just in one take. So like those were really fun to capture.
That's awesome. Well, I'm always curious too with movies like this. where there's like it's tense the whole movie, but obviously you are shooting it not in one day. So like what is you like do you have kind of a technique of trying to like maintain that tension or bring that tension back up? Is that more for Francis? Like what is that experience like for you and trying to hold that tension even between takes?
Yeah, it was such a fun and funny set. Like there was just so many funny people on it that like, and we were kind of always shooting my coverage at the end of the day just because of the way the sunlight was working. So, I would just take a moment to like get back in the headspace of not laughing at Nick and Jim, to remember how scary they are. But ultimately, of course, everyone is so professional and so good at what they do. Like, if Richard Brake is walking to you and looking like that, and if Nick is holding a gun on you and be like that, it's easy to like get right back into the swing of things.
It's fair. That's fair. I would say Richard Brake staring at you with a deadly stare would very much send you back into that fight or flight mode.
Yes. And of course, he's like the sweetest human being, just so
He's
calm and
so
wonderful.
calm and
Yeah.
quiet. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you've been typecast. I feel like that's what always, when you're ever typecast as a villain, I feel like you are probably the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah, which is how it should be,
Yeah, that's a
you
good
don't really
point.
want a jerk strangling you. So um
Yeah, I guess you're right. But my last question for you is, do you like rhubarb pie? Have you ever had rhubarb pie?
yes, I actually love rhubarb pie,
Hell yeah.
strawberry rhubarb, anything I love. And I've made it
Mm.
many times. I mean, I do a crumble, I do a crostata, but I like that flavor combo for
J-
sure.
Jim did tell me that you were a really good baker and would bring stuff to set. So, what is your favorite thing to bake?
So many things. I mean, every holiday I do like a cookie assortment as gifts. So
I
I
love when people do that. That's the best. Oh my God.
my signatures are a lemon rosemary shortbread, and then I do like a orange currant cornmeal cookie.
Those sound so good. Oh, that's so cool. Sweet. Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about Last Stop. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
That was
it.
so lovely. Thank you.